Former deputy assistant to the president, Fox News contributor Sebastian Gorka, Fox News legal analyst Greg Jarrett. Let's go to Weissmann. Let's go. We reported last week the Justice Department had opened up. It's now been going on for months, an investigation into Uranium One. Is this the first of many cards to fall?
Yeah, it probably is. And, you know, your opening monologue about Weissmann is right on point. If this guy actually exchanged information about Manafort and then joined the investigation into Manafort, he's violating DOJ rules.
What would you do if you're Manafort's attorneys tonight?
I would do one of two things. I would file a motion to dismiss, which would trigger the judge to order Weissmann to show up in court and explain
immediately.
Immediately.
Would any judge accept this conflict and his track record?
Any good judge would not. Which is why the second thing I would do is make a motion for order of inquiry into the conflict of interest and list Manafort and others like Rod Rosenstein as witnesses in the case, because they are.
How soon can you expedite that?
You could do it within 30 to 60 days.
Wow.
And if they are designated to be defense witnesses, they have to be removed from the case because they
have to be.
Yeah, they would absolutely.
Am I over the target? Is this all as corrupt as I think?
It is as corrupt. It's probably more corrupt than we know.
Sebastian Gorka, your take on all this. A lot of moving parts here tonight.
Look, Greg outlined exactly the conflict of interest issue, but I'd like to just pull it up a bit to the strategic level. And I know you've got Mark coming on, Mark Levin, the great one.
Thank you.
I don't want to steal his thunder, but Mark Levin has nailed it on his show today on radio. He's talking about this as a domestic surveillance scandal, and that's what it is. America doesn't have a secret police. It doesn't have an internal police force that spies on its own citizens for political reasons. At least it didn't until President Obama became the president. We now have a story that you can read in the unclassified press about Russian disinformation material being paid for by the FBI and being used to get FISA warrants to spy on U.S. nationals who are part of a political campaign.
By the way, and opposition party candidates in an election year, and then spy on the president-elect. All right, I want to ask an offbeat question.
Sure.
If we know WikiLeaks and Julian Assange, and I've interviewed him 5 times, if we know he's the one guy that knows where he got the information from the DNC, the emails, et cetera.
Right.
Why hasn't Mueller contacted him? Wouldn't he be the one guy that you'd want to talk to find out if Russia gave it to him?
Yes, but that might actually help Donald Trump. And it's pretty clear that that's what Mueller and his team of partisans don't want to do. They want to hurt Trump, not help Trump. They're not searching for evidence.
They don't want truth, is what you're saying.
No,
you're saying they don't want the truth.
No, they would prefer to subvert the truth.
I feel like I'm Jack Nicholson. You can't handle the truth. You're right. Sebastian, last word.
There are a handful of large political scandals in American history. JFK's assassination, then we have Watergate, and then we have the Pentagon Papers. I think this scandal will turn out to be one of the biggest political scandals in the history of the United States.
I talked to a high-ranking individual today, won't tell you who, said this makes Watergate, in terms of Pfizer surveillance abuses alone, look like kindergarten.
I agree. This will be up there with the assassination of JFK. This is how big this is. The political targeting of your enemies using the intelligence services.
That's the key. They did it to win an election and then overturn a duly elected president. Good to see you. You agree with that?
I agree. It's undermining electoral democracy and blatantly subverting justice.
Where's the media, Greg? I'm not the only one.
It doesn't fit with their narrative.
Good point. All right. Thank you both.